proportion. So in math, we have two different types of proportion. The first type is direct proportion, while the second type is inverse proportion. So by direct proportion, I mean that if x increases, y increases. While inverse proportion means that as x increases, y decreases. So as one variable increases, the other decreases. So that's inverse proportion. Now let's talk about direct proportion. So if I have 5 cans of beer that cost $1.2, I want to find the cost of 7 cans of beer. So always when we are solving questions about proportion, we need to find the value of 1 unit quantity. So here, if 5 cans cost $1.2, so you ask yourself, is the value or is the cost of 1 can of beer lower than 1.2 or greater than 1.2? Now if 5 cost 1.2, so for sure the cost of one can of beer is lower or is smaller than $1.2. So since it's smaller, I need to divide. So I'm dividing 1.2 by 5. So using your calculator, 1.2 over 5 is $0.24. So that's the price of 1 can. So 1 unit quantity. Now again, you ask yourself, now if the cost of 1 can is $0.24, so what's the cost of 7 cans? Is it bigger or is it larger or bigger than 0.24 or smaller than 0.24? Now of course it's gonna be bigger, so since it's bigger I need to magnify it by multiplying 0.24 times 7. So 0.24 times 7, and the answer is 1.68. So that's the cost of the 7 cans. Now let's talk about inverse proportion. So if I have 3 men building a wall in 10 days, how long would it take 5 men? So here the n is missing, so it's 5 men. So again, as I said in the first example, always when we are solving questions about proportion, we need to change to 1 unit quantity. So if 3 men build a wall in 10 days. So what's the 1 unit quantity? So how long would it take 1 man to build the same wall? Now you ask yourself, if 3 men build a wall in 10 days, so if you have just a man, would it take longer than 10 days or shorter than 10 days? Of course it's gonna take longer. So since it's gonna take longer, then I need to magnify the number, so I need to multiply. So 10 times 3 is 30 days. So it will take 1 man 30 days to build a wall. Now the question is, how long would it take 5 men? So you ask yourself, if 1 man, it takes him 30 days to build the wall. Now if you want to put more men, so more labor to build the same wall, would it take less or more than 30 days? Of course less, because you're having more men to build the wall. So since it's gonna take less, so we need to divide. So 30 by 5 men, and the answer is 6 days.